The public perception of professional athletes is that once you've made it to the league, you're pretty much set for life. Now, while it's true that a large majority of the league is paid a comfortable wage, the career length of an NBA player can vary greatly. And with this variance in career length comes an even greater disparity in personal wealth for each player. For those players that have landed large contracts from NBA owners, as well as high-value endorsement deals, the sky is the limit when it comes to buying themselves the home of their dreams. While the average American dreams of owning properties in the $500,000 range, these studs go well beyond that. While there are several great former players that have had success both on the court and in the real estate market, we'd like to focus on the league's current stars to see who is crushing it on the property front. These stars of the National Basketball Association have certainly invested a sizable amount into their real estate portfolios, but also hope to find success with the properties holding value or appreciating when they look to sell in the future. And to no surprise, the players with the big contracts have converted that into large properties. Here are some of the most expensive mansions owned by current NBA players. Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is a shell of his former self, a player once known as Superman. That being said, he sure knows how to spend money on real estate like his career was secure as a top-paid athlete. From his time on the Wizards, Howard owned a penthouse in Washington, D.C. that he listed for $2.475 million in early 2020. The property building was formerly a historic schoolhouse that was converted into condos. His unit alone consists of over 10,000 square feet, the largest penthouse in D.C. It features open space and original brick with some mixed design styles. With 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, and 2 stories, that's not bad at all for a penthouse. However, that's nothing compared to the mansion Howard purchased in Longwood, Florida, a property connected to his Orlando Magic playing days. In 2008, the big man locked in the mansion for $7.8 million, expanding 11,000 square feet and featuring a tiered movie theater, along with an outdoor kitchen, 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a pool room, a swimming pool with a lazy river, and a large gym. Unfortunately for Howard, he appears to have taken a huge loss on the property, listing it for only $4.9 million. Ouch! Howard also owns an Atlanta-based mansion for $8.8 million. This 35,000 square foot mansion has 5 kitchens, 3 laundry rooms, and a 14-car garage. Now, yeah, I understand that this is excessive, and obviously it's gated. It also features a pool, some pretty exotic snakes, and a plethora of fancy cars. What else would you expect from the superhero? Steph Curry. Now, while Curry hasn't had much to show during the 2019 and 20 season due to a broken hand that cost him a majority of his playing time, his recent action in the real estate market has kept him in the news. It appears the record-holding multi-MVP winning NBA champion Splash Brother has decided to make some drastic changes in his property holdings portfolio. Curry's decided to move on from his smaller real estate positions over the last few years by selling properties in North Carolina worth just over $1 million. His Walnut Creek, California home worth around $3 million, and now his Alamo, California home, which is worth $6.3 million. These may seem a little expensive to the average person, but these are nothing compared to the properties that Curry would go on to acquire. In September of 2019, Curry quietly managed to buy a $31 million mansion in Atherton, California, apparently the most paid for a home in the entire Bay Area in 2019. This 3-story mansion sits on 1.2 acres and features a guest house along with a detached garage. Now, as if this new mansion wasn't enough, Curry wanted to make another acquisition in the form of a luxury condo at the Four Seasons Private Residences, a new tower opening across from the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts in June of 2020. The condo cost Curry a cool $8 million, and the building will be 45 stories tall, and Curry's condo is on the 30th floor, which just so happens to be the number that he sports on his jersey. Coincidence? LeBron James. With a nickname like the King, it only makes sense that LeBron would own a number of mansions over the course of his career. As the hometown hero for the state of Ohio, LeBron began his career playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. With his roots being so tied to the state, it only makes sense that he would own a property in Akron. The $9.2 million mansion that he built from the ground up features 30,000 square feet, with 6 bedrooms, 8 full bathrooms, a 2-lane bowling alley, a home theater, a sports bar, and an aquarium. After many frustrating season finishes, LeBron would take his talents to South Beach to team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. While winning championships was the focus, James certainly enjoyed his time in Florida, while living in a mansion overlooking Biscayne Bay and Coconut Grove. The property that he would purchase would be for $9 million, featuring a rooftop deck and a dock that was big enough for 2 large yachts. He was able to flip this house for over $13 million when he decided to return home to Cleveland as the prodigal son. As a bit of foreshadowing, LeBron would lock down a $21 million mansion in Brentwood, California in 2015, while supposedly focusing on his team in Cleveland. Now, to be fair, he did bring a title to the Cavs, but this might have been an indicator of where his heart was leaning all along. Fast forward to 2017, and LeBron is locking down another mansion in the same LA suburb, this time with a $23 million price tag that features 8 bedrooms, a bar, an in-home theater, and a terrace rooftop. Now, it's estimated that he spends about $2 million a year on upkeep and housing expenses alone. And sure enough, LeBron would leave Cleveland a second time to make Los Angeles his new permanent home as he looks to enjoy his time on the Los Angeles Lakers. Russell Westbrook. Coming to the NBA in 2008, Russell Westbrook was much more tame with his initial home-buying moves than other players entering the league. Playing for the Thunder, Westbrook would purchase a home worth just over $400,000 in Edmond, Oklahoma, a suburb of Oklahoma City. Russ played his entire career for the franchise until finally heading to Houston for his age 31 season. Selling it in March of 2020, Westbrook would be able to make a small profit on the starter home. Now, while Westbrook did upgrade his starter home to a $1.9 million home in the Oklahoma City area in 2012, this doesn't compare to the properties the star would later acquire in California. His Oklahoma mansion featured over 8,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms, and 5 bathrooms. Being a California kid at heart, Westbrook had to purchase property in his hometown state. Initially, he purchased a $4.65 million Beverly Crest mansion, but has since listed it for sale as he looked to move on to larger estates in the same area as LeBron James. Westbrook is now the proud owner of a nearly $20 million Brentwood mansion. The new mansion was a brand new construction featuring a 3-car garage, an elevator, an outdoor pool, and 13,000 square feet all fenced in with complete privacy. Chris Paul. Now, it would be very hard to discuss the real estate holdings of Russell Westbrook without mentioning the man he's now replaced in Houston, Chris Paul. Paul had a wonderful career full of regular season stats and unfortunate playoff outcomes. That being said, he's made plenty of money during his career and invested that money into some very nice properties. Obviously connected to his Los Angeles Clippers playing days, Paul has purchased and now sold several properties in California. One of his more famous properties was located in Bel Air. The $8.5 million mansion was previously owned by singer Avril Lavigne. This 12,000 square foot gem featured 8 bathrooms, a hot tub, a wine cellar, a tennis court, and a gym. Paul also owned a 6,400 square foot property in the Woodland Hills area that was worth around $2 million, and a Calabasas mansion worth over $11 million. The Calabasas home featured 10,400 square feet with almost 2 acres of land, a swimming pool, a tennis court, 6 bedrooms, and 10 bathrooms. After his time in Los Angeles, Paul would spend a couple of seasons in Houston, and his Houston home would be purchased for somewhere around $7 million. Then he listed the property in 2019 for $8.3 million. This mansion features 5 bedrooms and 6.5 bathrooms in the 10,000 square foot property. James Harden. One man who's very connected to both Paul and Westbrook is backcourt mate James Harden. The Beard started his career playing in Oklahoma City with Russell Westbrook, teamed up with Chris Paul for some of his most competitive seasons in Houston, and is now back to playing with Westbrook after the Rockets and Thunder swapped the two players. Harden has found plenty of success on and off the court, landing a $228 million contract with the Rockets in 2017 and a $200 million contract with Adidas in 2015. Now, needless to say, the man's net worth is off the charts and he very well could be a billionaire by the time he retires from the NBA. So what does the mansion of the highest paid player in the NBA look like? Well, Harden has certainly made Houston his home, owning 2 large properties in the area. One home is a relatively modest property, worth only about $2 million. He purchased it from former NBA player Cuttino Mobley back in 2015. Mobley is best known for his playing days for the Rockets and the Clippers. This home sits inside of a Houston country club community featuring 7,100 square feet of living area. The property has 4 bedrooms and 5.5 bathrooms, and while very impressive with its sweeping staircase in the foyer, it's nothing compared to the gem of a property he has since purchased. Named Memorial Modern, Harden's $10 million mansion is located in a very exclusive suburb of Houston called Rivercrest. The property sits on 3.5 acres, and the mansion itself expands over 26,000 square feet. It sports an ultra-modern theme and features a grotto, a prep kitchen, a full bar, a fitness room, a wine room, and a casita, whatever that is. The mansion was built brand new and Harden is the first owner. The project took 3 years to finish, but was definitely worth the wait. Pictures of the property are impressive and look like something one could only dream of ever stepping foot into. Compared to what other NBA players are paying for their mansions out west, this property actually seems like a steal for one of the worst defenders in the league. While these properties are not the only extreme mansions in the league, they are certainly some of the most impressive, and to the average American, any NBA player's home would likely be more than enough. However, these properties take the cake. The funniest thing about a lot of them is that they don't feature a fancy basketball court. Now, to be fair, these players look to get away from basketball when at home, right? But on the other hand, I would find it hard to believe these guys don't enjoy getting some shots up during the off-season. Maybe 10 months of basketball is more than enough for these stars.